Why does OneNote matter for you as an educator? Why is it a tool that we are here sharing with you tonight? Why do we think it is something that is actually going to be beneficial for you as an educator and as a professional, whether you're a teacher, whether you're a student learning support officer, a teacher's aide, whether you're working in administration, whether you're some other kind of support within the education system? Why does OneNote matter, and how can you use it yourself and with your students? So OneNote's not exclusive to just teachers and educators, but OneNote is also a really powerful tool that you can use with students. So OneNote matters, all right? And OneNote provides educators like you and I with more possibilities, all right? So it reduces that endless mountain of paper that we sometimes end up with. And I just talked about how when I started teaching, I had binders, all right? And I'm talking probably 20 odd binders of different year groups, of different units and different resources and things that I honestly never, ever went back to look at. All right. So it is something that is so big. And I see teachers now with desk fulls of binders. And I just go, why don't you scan them? Why don't you pop them in digitally so that you can find them? All right. And also reduce that clutter. But that's just me, because I am a little bit OCD and a bit of a perfectionist, which is not a great thing. But OneNote provides us with so many possibilities. And that's why it matters for you and I as educators. So let's go and have a look at some reasons why OneNote can provide us with a lot of possibilities and why it matters for you to think about why could OneNote be a tool that you might add to your EdTech toolkit. So with OneNote, we can centralize that organization, which is something that I have demonstrated and I can talk about myself. So you could keep all of your teaching materials, your notes and resources in one easy to navigate space. So maybe you're teaching year 8 English, year 8 geography, maybe you've got a year 6 class, maybe you're teaching some kind of social science, maybe you're teaching history, geography, biology, legal studies, whatever you're teaching, wherever you are in the world, your OneNote and your OneNote folders that you could have for your different types of classes or subjects are that one central location where you can keep all of these resources. So rather than having binders on your desk full of these, pop them into your OneNote, easy to navigate, easy to access on multiple devices, and you can go and find those and download those and access those so that you can use those with your students. So it is a centralized location for you to organize everything related to your teaching programs. It also has that anywhere, anytime access, right? We've talked about this already. So we can access that content whether we're at school, whether we're at home, whether we're on the go. We don't need USBs. We aren't going to lose files. We aren't going to say, oh, there was that paper copy of the assessment information or the answers and it's on my desk. No, because it's inside our OneNote binder. It is there for us to access. The other really great thing here is maybe if you have a faculty or a team binder here, you might have those really important documents that you're accessing and using, and you are able to access those wherever you are, right? Once upon a time, and I remember this, and it was so frustrating, you'd have an on-site school server where all of your school-related stuff would be saved. If you didn't save that to a USB or an external hard drive or email it to yourself or something, and you needed it during the weekend or school holidays, you wouldn't have access to that. So being able to use OneNote and being able to access this content and this information and these resources anywhere at any time is actually why OneNote matters to you as well. Yes, we have the cloud. Yes, we have Google Workspace and we have Google Drive and we have OneDrive and we have every single thing that we could use now. But OneNote is a really powerful way that you can also do this in that one centralized location. Another reason why OneNote matters is that OneNote can support diverse learners. So we know that our kids in our classes have a huge diverse range of abilities and interests and knowledge and understanding, all these different types of things. We know that. We work in the 21st century. It is 2026 now, and kids and the world has changed. So the really great thing if you're going to use a OneNote document with your students is that you can support those diverse learners. So we can pop in text, we can pop in visuals, we can pop in audio, we can have handwriting to cater for different learning styles. We can basically do anything that we need to to support our students, right? And we can do that so quickly and so readily and so easily with a OneNote document. So that is another reason why OneNote matters for educators, right? It can help us support those diverse learners that we have in our classes. Another reason why OneNote matters is that OneNote actually can encourage collaboration. So there's a couple of things here. We can actually have a collaborative OneNote document where our students work together. Maybe we've got them working in small groups. We've got them maybe self-identified groups, or we've popped some groups together for a research project. They can work together in this document in a shared space. So we can support that teamwork. We can support that discussion. We can see what's happening. It's all in a nice, safe location so that every student in that particular group is going to be able to contribute to that. So we can encourage that collaboration. We can also take that idea about collaboration and maybe we have a team OneNote binder, right? So maybe we're working with a number of our colleagues, or we're working with senior leadership, or we're working on a project. We could be using a OneNote binder to be able to do this as well. So, at my particular context, we've got some monitoring folders that we use for our Year 12 students and our Year 11 students. And we've got these as OneNote documents. So we've created them, we duplicate them each year so that we've got a structure, so that we've got that consistency, and they are accessible through a shared team on Teams, okay, through SharePoint and things like that, so that everybody is able to access those. So that collaboration, whether it's for you as an educator or for students, is something that is another really powerful reason why OneNote actually matters to you, and why it's something that you should consider and think about including in your EdTech toolkit. OneNote also can help streamline your workflow, right? And this is something that I've alluded to already here. And this is what I love about presenting to you, is we kind of bring up these same points in a myriad of different ways to show you that they actually have a pretty consistent interlinking. And this is why we want to present these ideas to you, and we want you to think about these. So OneNote can help streamline your workflow. So you can reduce printing, you can simplify lesson plans, and you can quickly reuse or adapt materials. So we were just talking about our monitoring folders, and we duplicate those each year. So we have the same structure. We have the bare bones that we use, and then we update that each year for our new cohorts. You can reduce printing, and I'll talk to you and I'll give you an example about how we used OneNote in my particular context, and it was during the COVID period and the learning from home period. And I will explain why I really encouraged my team to look at using OneNote, and why OneNote was an easy way to streamline what we were doing to make our lives easier as we were going through a very turbulent, unexpected period. But it was just a really great way to simplify what we were doing. So OneNote is a great way to simplify those workflows, to reduce our printing, to make our lesson planning easier, to make our organization, to make it easier to reuse or adapt materials, so that you are being a much more efficient and effective educator. Okay, and our final example here as to why OneNote matters for educators is OneNote is a fantastic way to enhance feedback. So and we know that feedback is such a valuable part of being a teacher and also a learner. OneNote can provide real-time personalized feedback using typed, handwritten, or audio comments. So if we have our students doing something in a OneNote document, if they're using a class notebook, we can jump in there, we can have a look at it just like it would be with a normal, maybe physical notebook or a binder book or some kind of workbook. We can actually get in there and have a look at that in the same way. We can provide personalized feedback, whether we're typing that, whether we're going to provide some handwritten notes using a tablet and a stylus, or whether we're going to go something even a little bit more fancy and we're going to pop in some audio comments there, which I think is fantastic, because you're able to sometimes get out that feedback and get out those ideas in a much more clearer and concise way when you are actually doing that through a verbal comment, an audio comment that you're embedding into a student's notebook. So there we have 6 reasons why OneNote actually does matter for educators.